Hello there, friends and followers, and welcome to this X-Plane 11 video. Today we're going to be doing a full flight aboard the IXEG Boeing 737 service from Geneva to Luxembourg. The IXEG 737 hasn't received updates in the longest time now, but it's pretty much flyable, enjoyable, it sounds good, it looks good, and we're going to take it for a short hop today. Our flight is going to be approximately 30 minutes, and we're going to be cruising at 24,000 feet. We are currently at the gate, ready to go. We have our beacon lights on, and we are ready for pushback. All right, we have started the pushback now out of our position, and we have now clearance to start our engines. All right, we're going to start with engine number 2. We need the packs to go off. There we go. And now, as you can see, engine number 2 is spooling. Okay, and let's give it some fuel. All right, the engine number 2 is now stable. Let's go ahead and start engine number 1. And engine number 1 is now spooling as well. All right, and we'll give it fuel.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
All right, let's set the parking brake.
Disconnecting tow. Standby.
Everything else is looking good. We're just going to wait now for the ground equipment to clear, and we'll be on our way to taxi to the runway. Okay, let's go ahead and turn on the generators now, and engine mode selector to continuous. Pitot static is on. Packs on auto. Isolation valve goes to auto. APU bleed is off, and APU is off. All right, and we're good to go. Let's release the parking brake. Let's see here. Parking brake is released, and we're going to give it, is it? There we go. Now it is released. Okay, let's taxi to the runway. We are on our way to runway 22 for takeoff, and you will probably notice a little bit of a stutter, and that stutter is something I always get with the IXEG 737 and X-Plane 11, and I'm not sure why. All right, let's see here. We're going to turn on the landing lights. And we're going a bit fast here. Taxi lights off. We can turn on the strobes. And we can turn off the runway turn-off lights. All right, and auto throttle to armed. So runway 23 is actually runway 22 is runway 23. I guess there's something wrong with the scenery, but we're on the right runway. So let's go ahead and depart. Stable and toga. V1, rotate. So an aircraft just landed, so we made it right on time. Positive rate, gear is going up.
Flight slow.
Complaining about the glide slope, that's another thing. I guess there are some things that needs fixing in the IXEG in X-Plane 11. All right, let's begin retracting the flaps. We're going to go to flaps 1. All right, and we can retract the flaps now. Okay, let's do LNAV, VNAV, and we're going to engage the autopilot. We can lock the gear in the off position, disarm the auto brake, and we're going to continue to gain speed now. Okay, 7,000 feet, and we're going to set power to standard. To 902, and the same thing is set here. Okay, so all is looking good. We are approaching 10,000 feet now. We're going to turn off our landing lights. All right, 10,000 feet, and we're going to notify the flight attendants. And we're going to switch the engines here to the off position, and we're going to turn off the fasten seatbelt signs are already off. Landing lights are off, and wing lights, we need all the rest of these lights, so we'll leave those alone. And we continue now our climb to 24,000 feet. We continue our climb now to 24,000 feet. All is looking good at the moment, so I'm going to check back with you guys as soon as we level off, and then we will begin configuring the aircraft for our approach and landing at Luxembourg. We are now cruising at our final cruise altitude of 24,000 feet, and the remaining time to our destination is about 31 minutes, as you can see here, 31 minutes. We are currently 130 nautical miles from the top of descent point, so I will let you guys enjoy the flight, and we'll come back and configure the aircraft for our approach and landing into Luxembourg. Welcome back, folks. We are approximately 35 nautical miles from the top of descent point. We are about 15 or 14 minutes away from our destination. We're going to start configuring the aircraft for our descent and approach into Luxembourg. We're going to head over to Performance in it, Approach Reference, and we're going to be doing flaps 30 today. So 30 and 129. I didn't get that right. 129. There we go. And we're going to set our ILS and approach course. The ILS frequency for the runway is 110.7. 110.7. And we're going to set this one here as well, 110.7. There we go. And the approach course is 238 degrees. 238. And 238 here. All right, and one more thing, we need to reset the MCP altitude. So let's check here. All right, so 3,000 looks like the platform altitude. So we're going to set that to 3,000. There we go. And we are now configured for our descent and approach into Luxembourg. So I'll check right here. This is the top of descent mark, and I will check back with you guys as soon as we are closer to the top of descent. We have now begun the automatic descent to our destination. As you can see, the aircraft is now adjusting the vertical speed. And let's take a look at the weather at our destination. So we're going to bring up Sim Toolkit Pro. This is Luxembourg, and we'll take a note of the transition altitude, which is 4,500 feet. And we don't need the frequencies. This is the METAR information. Winds, westerly winds, 270 degrees at 7 knots. Visibility is 10 kilometers. Temperature is 12 Celsius. Dew point 11 Celsius. Altimeter is 1020. And we have a few clouds at 800 feet. No significant weather change in the last hour. So everything is looking good now for our approach. We should expect a rather straightforward approach. If we actually take a look here, if we switch to plan here, that is our approach there. So we're going to come to Mosset, and then we're going to make a turn here. It's a steep turn, and then we're going to come here and land. So we'll see how it goes. We continue our descent now. Let's switch this back to map. There we go. And all is looking good at the moment. We continue our descent now through 11,600 to 3,000 feet. We are looking okay in terms of our altitude. And we are doing about 234 knots or so. We're approaching the 10,000 mark. We are now approaching 10,000 feet. We're going to turn on our landing lights. There we go. Landing lights are on. Runway turnoff lights are on. And we're going to turn on our wing lights as well. Alright, 240 knots is the speed that we want. We are just about right there right now. And we're going to continue now our descent through to 3,000. That is the airport right there. So we're going to come right here. We're going to make the turn and come back and land. I've switched, by the way, to vertical speed, manual vertical speed now. We're descending at about minus 1,500 feet per minute. And we're going to maintain 240 knots until the next waypoint. All right, at this point, we're going to reduce our speed to 210 knots. There we go. And we're going to use the speed brake to help us reduce our speed quicker. There we go. We're looking good. 4,500, and we're going to set barrel reference to 1020. All right, 1020, and we'll do the same thing here, 1020. All right, altimeter is set. We can now reduce our rate of descent to about 1,000. And we're going to reduce our speed to 170 knots. And we are now approaching our platform altitude, which is 3,000 feet. Okay, 3,000. We're going to 170. And we're going to go to flaps 5.
Wind 240 degrees, 7 knots, runway 34, clear takeoff, final instructed.
Let me check our speed here. So 129. Okay. 129, we're looking good. Let's go ahead and hit the approach button. All right, and auto brake to 2. And we're going to maintain 170 knots. We're flaps 5 and 3,000 until established.
From Papa 1, enter backtrack, line up runway 34, beam alpha and wait.
There we go. Localizer is captured. And the airport is right ahead of us now.
Channel 35 X-ray alpha, wind 240 degrees.
That's the runway.
28 clear, takeoff. Bye-bye.
All right, let's arm the speed brake.
Stobar 2000 Lima to wind 240 degrees, 7 knots.
Speed brake is armed.
Clear, takeoff. Bye-bye.
And let's see here. Engine selectors to continuous. And everything is good. We're clear to land. All is looking good for our approach now, and as we can see now, the needle started moving. So when the needle reaches this dot here, we're gonna go to flaps 15, and we're gonna start reducing our speed and lowering the landing gear. All right, we are good now. Let's go ahead and lower the landing gear. And we're going to go to flaps 15. And we're going to reduce our speed to 150 knots. There we go. Glide slope is active. And we're going to reduce our speed now to 129 knots, which is our approach speed. And we're going to watch our flap settings here. Okay, flaps 25. It's going to start jumping now, so we'll take over momentarily. All right, and flaps 30. All is looking good at the moment. We are 1,240 feet from the touchdown zone.
Shamrock 6 Echo Echo, confirm ready for departure.
Fully ready, 6 Echo Echo.
All right, 1,000 feet. Let's disengage the autopilot.
Approaching 2-4.
And my aircraft.
Shamrock 6 Echo Echo, line up runway 28, full length to runway available.
Line up 28, full length, Shamrock 6 Echo.
Shamrock 6 Echo Echo, wind 230
I'm going to disengage
degrees,
the auto throttle.
Runway 28, clear, takeoff. Bye-bye.
Takeoff 28, Shamrock 6 Echo. All the best, bye-bye.
Terrain, terrain. Terrain, terrain. Terrain, terrain. Minimum.
I'm going to give it just a little bit of rudder here.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Long
Ryanair
landing,
442,
long
via
landing,
Alpha, line up runway 34, Lima
3,300
Alpha,
meters.
Bit of flutter there, but it's all right. Right, reversers. And manual braking.
Ryanair 153, wind 230 degrees, 7 knots, runway 28, cleared land.
All right, and welcome to Luxembourg. I'm not very familiar with this airport, so we're just gonna make a right here and find a spot to park the aircraft, and then we're gonna take a look at our landing. Right, we can retract the flaps now. Let's go ahead now and take a look at our landing. Our landing was a bit hard, about 267, so it's a bit of a hard landing, but nonetheless we've made it safely here to Luxembourg. I really enjoyed flying the IXEG after quite a long time. I hope that you guys have enjoyed watching the video, and until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.